Hello, this is Chala Dincoy, CEO and founder of The Repositioning Expert, coming to you live with another edition of my crazy podcast called Naked Marketing, where we talk about marketing mistakes. I have my new guest victim, Nate Palmer, who's going to talk about his naked marketing vulnerable mistakes that he's made. Welcome, Nate.
Thank you so much, Chala. I'm so excited to be here.
You're probably wondering, what did I get myself into?
I actually almost showed up today wearing like the logo, just a tie, no shirt. And I told my wife about it, who is both smarter and better looking than me. And she was like, do not do that.
Oh
Like,
man, that would have been the first. That would have been, I'll tell you right now. The people that
I don't know what kind of first impression that makes though.
I know. Well, we're getting naked with our marketing, but nothing else for the moment,
Right,
But I mean, you're a personal trainer, right? So if anybody is qualified to do that on this show, because normally I don't talk to, personal trainers. Anyway,
well, if I come back next, just don't even worry about it. It's on next time.
Next time we'll do that. So now that I've let the cat out of the bag and I've told everyone that you're a personal trainer, but tell us what you do for a living and who you help.
So I started off as a personal trainer, but right now, mainly what I do is I work with dads and entrepreneurs and business owners to help them use their fitness and their nutrition as force multipliers in their life to amplify their physique, their finances, and their family time.
Very nice. In that order.
Yeah, más o menos. Yeah.
All right. So how did you get into this?
So I started off as a personal trainer in about 2008, worked with a ton of different people, started my own little gym, got rid of that, moved somewhere else, started a couple businesses here and there. And then recently I've been working with a lot of people. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. So I've been working with a lot of like local business owners here to help them. What I kept hearing over and over again was like, yes, like I need to lose some weight. Yes, I'd like to do like look a little bit better. But honestly, I'm crushing 6 Red Bulls a day and I have no energy for my family when I go home. And like over and over again, that kept coming up. So until one of my buddies who's a roofer here, he was like, dude, I need help. I have like 30 pounds to lose, but right now what I need is you to fix my diet so that I can drive around 10, 12 hours a day and still be able to like go home and have a good time with my family and show up in as the dad I want to for my 4 kids. So came up with a nutrition plan that was purely focused on mental acuity and energy, like really nothing else. Cause he was like, I don't even want to work out. He's like, weight loss, not important to me. And he said after like 2 months or so, he's like, my energy's never been better. I'm feeling really good. When I walk in the door, I'm excited to see my kids and I have the energy to go play tag or whatever they want to do. Oh, and by the way, I lost 22 pounds. I was like, whoa, we might have just done something there. Like that might be something. So since then, that's about 2018 has kind of started getting like dialed in on the current method that I promote. Since then, I've been just like trying to make sure that this is a system that works for a lot of people, and rather because it's really focused on like the energy and focus rather than the dropping weight loss, that sort of thing, which I think is a deviation from the norm. But also something that mainly like the people that I serve, dads and entrepreneurs and stuff, can really hear that message. Whereas a lot of people are like, no, don't like skip that. Just tell me how to drop these 5 pounds,
That is so great because I mean, my jam is niching. Like I'm the niching queen. I help people figure out how to make more money by differentiating themselves through super niching, which is being an expert in something very specific with a very specific group. Now it sounds like through trial and error and through years and years, because we never met before, you figured that out on your own through, throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what stuck. But thank God you did, because I can't tell you how many trainers I meet who are not differentiated, who are struggling in that. And even within the weight loss space, I think there is room to differentiate and super niche even finer into that, right? But totally. I love the niching. So thank God you found the way. So tell me about, the marketing mistake, the biggest one that you made in the last, I guess, since 2008.
There's 2 that are really dumb that stand out. I'll tell you the dumbest one first, but they both have the same mistake. Like they're both manifested in different ways. But my mistake that I made, Chala, and like really, I feel really strongly about where I'm at right now. I love it. I wrote a book about it. Like I'm on Amazon. Like I have all these cool things going for me. But it took me 13 years because I'm not very smart. So I've just been at this for a long time, doing a lot of stuff. But in 2013, I started a website called Grab and Go Workout. And my idea was, I'm going to have this website where Chala, if you want to, you can just go there and you can click download, you get a workout delivered to your phone. You can go to your phone and look at it and like go to the gym and do the exercises, like the iTunes of workouts, right? But the problem with that is that no one was like, you know what I could go for? Like an iTunes store with workouts in it. Nobody said that to me. I didn't ask either, which is a problem. So my biggest marketing mistake that I made was that I never went and like said, hey, I love working with you. I love working with dads. I love working with business owners. I love like, what do you need? What are you looking for? And I never asked. And I was like, you know what's cool? iTunes. I'm going to make something like that. Second business I had was called Bod in a Box. And yeah, because it came in a bag actually, but bod in a bag is like a little morbid. So I basically was like, I took a TRX suspension trainer straps, and I put some sliders and I put some bands all in a bag. And I was giving people workouts that went along with it. And they were like 30-minute workouts designed to really like get you like in good shape. And I had a monthly subscription on it. But the problem is that again, I didn't ask. And so therefore the people that really wanted the product, they were already doing Orange Theory, yoga. They had a fitness habit. They could use the straps. They felt good about it. So they wanted a product. There's the people who needed the solution, who wanted like long-term, like who could stay with me on a monthly basis. Like to get them to go from zero to home training equipment that's all in a box using suspension trainer straps, which are a little bit more advanced, like was impossible. So again, I didn't ask the right questions. So when I developed this solution and put thousands of hours and dollars into marketing and creating and sourcing stuff, it was just a grind. Like, and I never really made any money from it. It was a good experience. Definitely taught me a lot, but like, again, just not like just big, like if we're being really honest, a big waste of 2 years.
Yeah. I can't even get mad at you for not hiring someone to help you do that, because there are so few strategists like me. Where would you have found one? Where would you have met one? And the only way that I learned was for 18 years, I worked for Pepsi, Pizza Hut, and Frito-Lay, and we launched 7 to 10 new products every year. And the number one thing that we did is we went and we asked the market, and we said, okay, what do you need? What's your problem that this thing can solve? And then we would, position it into that gap in the market. So now that's what I do for, companies like yours, but there's so few of us that know how to do a strategy. It's like, I liken it to, if you ever build a house, you have to go to an architect. Like you can't just ask the painter to draw the, like you wouldn't be allowed to build. But for small businesses, they make their own, blueprint all the time. They try to figure out what is their strategy, who's the target, what is the product, what is the service, what's the problem. So congratulations for getting over that hump. And I hope that for people who are listening to this, who are either in the same boat or who are struggling, even after they've established a business, they're struggling to grow. It's most of the time because they haven't fine-tuned who needs them the most. And because they don't even know how to go out to the market and ask. So this is like super, and I have not paid him, you guys. I did not prime him for this message, because it's the biggest message that I give is you have to ask the market. I don't even let clients guess, and they could have been in the industry for 30 years. I don't care.
I think that makes you actually worse at guessing, because we are so in our heads, like with the curse of knowledge. Yeah. But like, Chala, here's the thing is like, I didn't even know, like, even like fast forward, like rewind like 4 years when I started the Bod in a Box, like 2016, I would have loved to have worked with you at that time. I did not even know the questions to ask to find you. Like exactly. I was too far back in my, like, I was like, I'm just going to get in here. I'm just going to ready, fire, aim with this. But like, I wasn't even smart enough to know the questions to ask to find the person who could guide me.
Gotcha. You didn't know what you didn't know. And right. I love it. You're so honest. So tell us about these books that are behind your head there.
So this one is not mine. This one's by Justin Donald, a lifestyle investor. This one is called The $1 Million Body Method. Basically, like, I feel like a lot of times coaches write books and they're just like glorified sales letter for their products. But I figure like if
I got 4.
You got 4? I only got 2. But I figured like if I'm not in fitness in 5-10 years, I still wanted something that stood alone and laid out this method, because I do think it's special. I do think it's one of the only diets that's focused on, it's the entrepreneur's diet for superhuman focus and rapid fat loss. So it's really the only diet that kind of puts energy first and kind of working with your body's natural rhythms. So I like it because it like the feedback I got on this, like all the negative feedback was like, I don't like it. It looks like a business book. And I was like, yes, that's what I want.
That's what
So
I
I'm super pumped about it. I like how it was written. I liked writing it. It was a lot of fun for me. So
Well, are you going to tell us what is the $1 million body method?
I'd like to. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, can you like boil it down to a sentence?
Ooh, yes. So the $1 million body method is the what I call 7 daily investments that
Okay.
teach you how to work with your body's natural rhythms, hormones, and levels to essentially create energy on demand and burn fat on demand. And by
Okay.
the way, 3 of those 7 investments are breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And it's pretty simple, pretty easy to walk through.
And there's no exercise.
One of the investments is 20 minutes of exercise per day, 20 minutes of movement. So that's like most of my clients, honestly, are going for walks.
Okay.
And 20 minutes kind of the minimum. Like, I feel like once you get into it, you're like, I'm gonna get after this. But like, I think as like business owners and entrepreneurs, we can't separate our energy from our financial success. And I think one of the ways we build energy, because I don't think like a power plant doesn't have energy, right, Chala? It creates energy. Same with us. So one of the ways we can create energy and build up our battery is by actually by using our energy and burning energy and training. So I think that I also make the differentiation between training and working out or exercise. Exercise being like a way of getting sweaty, training being a way of improving, right? I think a lot of times, especially in like pop fitness and weight loss and stuff like that, the focus is always on be less, become less, drop weight, lose fat. And I think as entrepreneurs and business owners, our goal should be become more, do better, constant improvement, 1% every single day. And I think that like, that's why I love working with this demographic, is because we get it. We get that, like, that it's not always about fitting ourselves into society's box of what's appropriate for us to like, look like, feel like, act like. No, we're like the rebels. We're the people who are setting our own pace. We're the people who are building businesses without having any reason to do so, or any good, like, like having done any market research, just an odd blend of people. So I think that we can get behind the idea that more focus equals more financial success.
I love that. I mean, I'm supposed to ask you about marketing questions, but you probably don't know this, but I'm super into fitness. So I just ended a 3-year cut. Like
Wow.
So
Congratulations.
yeah, well, I completely abused my body, completely like tried to get down to 15% fat. I'm 52. And then so now I have found out, and I've learned about something called a reverse diet, which I don't know if you've ever heard of. So now I've gone totally the opposite way, because I totally ruined my metabolism. So now I'm back, like after 4 months or 3 months of a reverse diet where I've gained like a ton of weight, but I'm trying to lift heavier. So, I mean, is there any part of bodybuilding or any part of lifting that you get into with these people, or are they so far from any of that they just want energy?
Yeah, that's a great question. So when I first started, like, I love lifting. Lifting's my favorite. I'm like Elf. But but what I found is that when I try to take people like, okay, hey, you need to lose some weight, let's get into resistance training, it was a disconnect. I didn't meet them where they're at. So what I would consider this book is phase 1 of 3 phases. Phase 1's that hard reset, like that button you hit, like when you do a Whole30, you do a diet, you do something that's like a short term designed to help you reframe where you're currently at. So it's phase 1. Phase 2 is that kind of like the cut you did, sounds like. So getting to the point where I use a way of determining what's called insulin sensitivity, which is super simple. You can go to your doctor's office and get a blood test to figure this out, or you can measure your waist measurement at your belly button and divide it by your height. And if that number, Chala, is above 0.46, then you have insulin resistance. You'll never be able to use carbohydrates and calories at maximum efficiency. And it's a spectrum. It's not binary. It's not on off. So phase 2 is all about getting that waist height ratio to the proper number, so your body can actually start utilizing the calories you're taking in to build muscle, to build your metabolism as energy rather than just stored as fat. And then phase 3 is where we really get into body transformation, like actually changing how you look, looking great in a tank top, building your arms, building your abs, that sort of thing. Because like the phase 2 will get you there to where you've revealed those if you already have them. But then phase 3 is where we get into like lifting for physique development.
Got it.
And we do lift in phase 2, but it's not the focus.
It's not the heavy. It sounds like though what most people are interested in and hire you for is the phase 1, where just the Whole30 will give them the results for more energy, which is kind of, like that's kind of the first step of what they're looking for, it sounds like, right?
Yeah, most of the time I try to get people to like, I try to take people through phase 1 and phase 2, get them to like where they're at. And then they can decide at the end of phase 2, like, hey, I like the way I look. I'm feeling lean, or like, okay, I'm ready to amp up the metabolism, build more muscle, etc.
That's awesome. So now I'm going to ask a marketing question. Now, how do you find your clients? Like, what's your funnel?
So I get most of my clients through a Facebook group called the $1 Million Body.
Nice.
And I run a podcast by the same name. So I have like on the front end and the back end of the podcast, I would say, hey, go to join the group, go to n8trainingsystems.com/group to join us there. We stream these live. A lot of my stuff is pushing people into the group, whether it's a Facebook ad or like guesting on other people's podcasts or free giveaways, different things like that, are always trying to get people into the group. Once in the group, I've got a what's called, I call it my nurture sequence. So do you want me to just break it down for you?
Yeah, sure.
So day one, they come into the group. So let's say you enter the group. I've got 3 questions, because what I like to do is called permission-based marketing. So the question 1 is like, how'd you hear about us? Question 2 is, do you want this valuable resource? Give me your email address. And then question 3 is, hey, we really specialize in helping dads and business owners get some amazing results with their finances, focus, and physique. Do you want me to send you a message on how this works? And I would consider that person, if they say yes, I call them a hand raiser. If they say no, I just put them into the group. So day 1, I tag them in my welcome video. Hey, welcome to Million Body Group. Where are you from? What business are you in? What do you do? Here's how to interact in this group. Day 2, everyone gets a message from me. What's up? It's Nate from the $1 Million Body Group. Glad you're here. And if you're a hand raiser, I go, Chala, saw you said yes to the question 3. Like, do you mind me asking, like, what's your fitness goal you're working on right now? Start a conversation from there. If there's obviously like a pain gap, it's something I can help with, I go, great. You have a couple minutes to get on a quick call and just talk to people for 5 minutes. I love connecting with everyone in my group. Because, at the end of the day, like I don't offer this program to probably 50% of the people who come on calls. They're just not ready for it. But it's still great to like, just provide some value, give someone the like one step. Like, amazing. I had a call with this lady the other day, and she was not a good fit for the program, but I was like, you know what, you just need to start walking 10 minutes after each meal to help your body digest its food. She started doing it. Like 3 months later, she's off a ton of the medication she was on. She's dropped about 50 pounds. Like, she's killing it on her own with just like a couple little steps that I was able to like give her on a quick call. So I love that. And then my third day is, if I haven't really gotten a response from those first 2 days, I tag them in what I call my lure tag. And that's just a colored background post. It's like, hey, did you miss this case study where I showed how high performers are dropping 20 pounds in 3 months? Let me know if you want it. Mm-hmm. And it just, I tag them and go, hey, Chala, did you see this? Hey, Chala, do you want to check this out? And if you say yes, then I go back to the DMs. We start a conversation again, try to book that call.
That sounds pretty good. And thank you for breaking it down for all our viewers and listeners. Now, how do you get people into the group is the question.
So I'm running a Facebook ad bridge funnel right now. So I just have some ads going that are like, hey, join us in the free group. It's one of the most valuable free resources you're going to find online for business owners and dads. And then I also like through podcasting, like generally one of my like calls to action or like free giveaways is, hey, I got I got a bunch of ebooks. I'll give people away copies of my book for like the PDF for free. So join my group and you can get X is kind of my goal. So I have not, like, that's probably one of the areas that I have still a lot of room for improvement in. My Facebook ads have not, I would say they're limping along, if I was being honest.
I was just going to say, like, kudos to you, because Facebook ads have never worked for me. So I was like, but do you find that your marketing is mostly B2B or B2C? Like
B2C.
So it's B2C, because there's an enormous world of B2B. And if you can position yourself as a B2B and get into that world, I think there's even a bigger, because I'm all about, you have to get small. Your focus has to get small to get big, for your revenues to get big. So that, I'm the niching girl. So definitely, because that's what caught my attention, which is why we invited you to the show, is that you speak directly to entrepreneurs, and they are definitely in need of that energy. And none of them are interested. Most of them are not interested in exercise because they're time starved.
Yeah. Yeah. And if it came to like either like going to the gym or closing a deal, 100% of the time they're closing the deal.
Yeah.
Bar none,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. So, what, parting advice do you have for people around the topic of marketing?
So around the topic of marketing, what I would say is like, I mean, and I'm sure this is just, beating a dead horse for your listeners since you are so focused on niche, but who are you serving? And then what do they want? Because a
Yeah.
lot of times, like especially as a fitness professional, and I see this with a lot of people, like a lot of other fitness coaches, is they go, you know what people need? More weight training, more vegetables, and they talk about those things. But like no one's really seeing being like, man, how do I get more vegetables? People are Googling like, how do I lose this last 5 pounds? How do I get my stomach, like my belly fat, and my love handles? What's the best detox? So when we are hold ourselves, and I'm just speaking personally, like, and kind of like traps I've fallen into, and I go, toning, that's a dumb word. You should never do a detox. And I completely pull myself away from what my consumer is actually saying, thinking, and searching for. I'm positioning myself in a place where no one wants to work with me.
Right.
But if I can say, hey, here's the number one best detox tool, hint, it doesn't require any pills, powders, or potions.
Mm.
Suddenly people are like, well, what's up with that guy? So using their language, meeting them where they're at, and then literally just think about, what are these people Googling? Because I think that gives you such a better insight than to try to think of like, what is Nate Palmer like? And what does Nate Palmer think people need? Because oftentimes, like I said before, I'm dumb, or I don't know what I don't know. So trying to figure out that information, like there's a quote, like, if I had an hour to chop down a tree, I'd spend 55 minutes sharpening the axe. I feel like I've heard that, a bunch of different ways, but
Mhm.
same thing in our business. Like if you want to launch a product, spend a lot of time on research, those niche questions. And then what are people looking for?
Awesome. Thank you so much. How could people reach you? What's the name of your group?
So I have a group online. It's called the $1 Million Body Community.
Oh, that's
Um,
right. That's right.
you can get there by going to n8trainingsystems.com/group. We'll get you there. And by the way, if you jump into that group right now, I got some free valuable resources that I can hook you up with, including the $1 Million Body Method on PDF.
Very nice. And the URL again?
The number 8 trainingsystems.com/group. And I thought I was so clever when I came up with that name in 2011, Chala. I was like, oh my gosh, Nate, like my name, but it's an 8, like so smart. And then now I spend 40% of my time being like, no, 7 and then 8. Yeah. No, and then the rest.
I know, right? Simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. And by the way, you're one of the smartest guys I've ever met. So stop saying I'm stupid.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. This is a lot of fun.